there's no, like he says, and he's absolutely right, there's no rule book as to what you're supposed to do in this situation, which I think business owners are finding out firsthand as well. There's absolutely no rule book for what's going on right now.
What the hell do we do now? Theme of the show.
The question that I have, really, this is what it comes down to me with.
Yes.
The Premier, with his mandate, has asked business owners, individuals, to shut down their life for a period of time, potentially watch a decade or 2 decades of work go up in smoke, and there's a whole bunch of knock-on effects to that over the next 1, 2, 5 years. And like you say, they're relying on the health data, which makes sense.
Yes.
But I wonder if there's a voice at the table about some of the echoes of other parts of economic, mental health, longer term. You know, isolation is a big deal for a lot of people, and this is no small thing to. Like when you think about 6 weeks, you know, deal with it, but people will literally can't put food on their table as it stands right now. And that is a lot to ask. And I'm not saying it's the wrong call. What I am saying is I am yet to see, just as an average consumer of media and watching, I am yet to see a fully fledged strategy as to why we're going in so hard and how the hell we get out.
So the first layer is this decision making.
Yep.
And so we can bring it back to businesses later, but looking at when you're faced with the crisis, having a panel, whether that's internal and external, that's your people and your external advisors. So there's the decision-making piece, but I think what's missing in Victoria is a strategy. This is not a strategy.
This is a plan.
This is a plan. Plan of execution. We're going to do this for 6 weeks. And guess what? We're all sitting around our houses saying, and then what?
And then what?
And then
That's
what?
Right.
So, you know, if there was a clear strategy, we need this 6-week lockdown, we need to arrest the numbers, we're going to get on top of it, we're going to build our contact tracing. Here's the strategy. Here's where we are going, not in 6 weeks, not in 3 weeks, not in 3 months.
This is what we're doing, like back us or not sort of thing, like we're putting our neck on the block and saying this is our strategy.
It seems that this is a really big piece missing in this crisis management is the strategy.
Let's have an alternate reality.
Yeah.
Let's say it's 6 weeks ago. And it's very clear. I mean, and I'm not saying this is necessarily true, but let's say that the health system wasn't prepared. And how could it be, right? As in, I mean, the bureaucracy of the health system. Let's say that the DHHS didn't have the capability to do what it needed to do. Contact tracing was under-resourced. I mean, you know, they would be extraordinarily forgivable situations to deal with. And if the Premier walked out to a press conference and said, people of Victoria, we have an issue with, I'm very concerned about, based on the health advice, our hospitals being overwhelmed, our contact tracing is not up to snuff, our DHHS are under the kind of pressure they can't deal with, and here's 3 or 4 other reasons why. We need to shut it down for 6 weeks. In that 6 weeks, what we are going to be doing is hiring 5,000 contact tracers or whatever the number is, and we're going to be putting support mechanisms into all the areas that we know we've got holes. We failed on hotel quarantine as a government. I don't blame him personally for that, but as a government, we weren't ready. We didn't handle it well. I guarantee it would be a totally different, because you're bringing people along with a bit of a consensus.
What you're explaining is the strategy of, we're going to have this plan, but that's because the overall strategy is to live with...
That's what you see.
The overall strategy is to live with this, and what do we need to put in place to be open for business in a world where we cannot control this thing.
Normal.
So to be open for business, we need to be able to smack outbreaks like that, which means our contact tracing has to be world class. We need to protect our most vulnerable. Our aged care needs to get sorted. Our healthcare workers need to get sorted. So there's the plan of getting that in place, but then there's the end game. And that's the strategy. That is what's lacking right now.
So you're talking about the difference between a plan and a strategy being, the plan is this is what we're going to do. But the strategy gloves that by saying this is why. And this is the exit. Like we have, and again, this is sort of fog of war, but I am yet to hear an exit strategy or a plan for what happened. All I hear is lockdown and fines. That's all I hear. That's all I hear.
And then what?
More fines, more that's all I'm hearing.
You know, a lot of businesses do this, that they think that they are creating and building and executing a strategy. But they're actually building a plan.
They are, because there's no why around it.
We're going to go and chase these 10 clients.
We're going to be the #1 selling widgets in this industry, and this is how. But why do we want to do that? Why do we want to be known for that?
That's right.
Why does the market want? Why is the market going to reward us for doing the work to be the number one?
That's right. If you
how
find
do you
out
define the number one,
that if you build the strategy, then you overlay it with the how
With the
and the plan, and
I think that's instructive. I think it's useful to say that a lot of strategies, or people that view it as strategy, get caught in the sort of technical detail of step.
Yes.
But that step has to be, to bring your whole group along.
Yeah.
There has to be the why wrapped around it. You think about it, just the barbecue story. One day someone will look up the barbecue story. People going to no one's going to any barbecues, going to virtual barbecues right now, and they're saying, "Oh, we're in lockdown. This is ridiculous. The cases. When are we going to come out? I don't know. They haven't told us what the measure is. Is it 20 cases a day? Is it 50 cases a day? We're just sort of, and there's very serious threats about extending it, and no one knows the why. If the Premier had the time to say, this is why we're doing it, and these are the mechanisms that we're looking at when we get to here. Now, I know there's risk in boxing himself in options-wise, but you need to bring people along. I mean, the people are a bit lost at the moment. Now, none of that is the fault of any, like they're at home, they've got, if you've got school-age kids and you're trying to run a business, or you're trying to work, or you've lost your job, and all those knock-on effects are having a significant effect on individuals. There's just no question about that, and in my mind. So if you talk back to a communication strategy, it's not too late. It's not too late. The Premier could walk out tomorrow in front of a press conference and say, here's the deal. This is what we weren't prepared for. And who could blame them? Like, they're a peacetime government, and all of a sudden this tidal wave smacks them.
Yeah.
This is what we weren't prepared for. This is what we're spending this time to do the work on. At the end of lockdown, at the end of this 6 weeks, this is what we're going to have in place.
Yes.
This is how we're going to go forward. We aim to, don't hold me to it, I can't predict it, by
give us
2021.
the light at the end of the tunnel.
Give us something to grab onto, to say by 2021, we plan to have a COVID normal that looks a bit like this. These are some of the elements. We want to open businesses. We want to get you back to work. This is what we need to hear. We want to get you back to work.
I think at the moment we're getting the stick.
It's all stick.
If you're not getting tested, you're staying, the detention continues, right?
Yeah.
Instead of saying, hey, team, we know you all want to go back to work. We know you want to see your family members. We know that. So this is why we're doing it, because that is what we are working towards. I haven't seen any of that.